Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how to create this botanical illustration in the app IBIS Paint X. First, I'm going to open a FHD canvas in my IBIS Paint X app, and here in the reference window panel, by clicking on this camera button and using the import reference option, I'm going to select and import the color palette I'm going to use. Before that, I'm going to select the yellow color and this felt tip pen hard brush, then using the polygon tool with 6 corners, I'm going to create the hexagon shape. Just click on the center and hold and drag. By doing this, you can create the hexagon, and by rotating, still holding the hexagon, you can position them in whatever angle you want. So by doing this, we create such one. So now I'm going to add some texture to this glittering texture, golden texture. So I'm going to use this glitter texture 02 texture in the material available, and now it is applied to the entire layer. Just click on the clipping option so that it applied only to this hexagon design, and also change the blending mode of this layer to add so it glows. Now I also reduce the opacity of that material layer, and I'm just adjusting to the level I want. So I want something like this. Then using the airbrush, I created a new layer with the linear bond blending mode, and I'm going to add some shades, darker shades here and there. So you can see I didn't apply to the entire hexagons. I'm just shading here and there at the corners so that we get such a look. Also creating another layer for the with the add blending mode. I just add the highlight effects for this hexagon. So here you can see wherever we left there, I'm going to add the highlight details using the same airbrush. So now I'm going to draw botanical leaves, like this. If you want any reference, you can search from Pinterest. You can get a lot of ideas there. So like this, I'm going to draw. The brush I'm using is felt tip pen hard. So don't worry if you are not drawing the perfect shape, because this layer is not going to be visible in our final artwork. So it's only for our reference, because we're going to use the lasso tool to select the shapes from this reference, and in the new layer we're going to paint. So this only for the reference purpose, so don't worry, you can make mistake, redo it. So, and here you can see I'm just making some overlap lines. It looks messy now. Just click on the lasso eraser tool available under the special tool option and erase the unwanted lines like this once you finish the entire line artwork for this one. So here you can see. So also add some leaf shapes wherever you find it very uh, you know empty, something like that. And now I just reduce the opacity of the layer, and in the new layer using the lasso tool, I'm just selecting the leaf shape. So the point is, don't select the areas which are next to each other. So for example, I'm not choosing the neighboring leaves, because if I choose the merging leaves and if I paint, they are going to be mixed, so I can't apply the details perfectly. So select the alternate ones, or between there should be some gap between each selection, make sure you do that. So here you can see I just selected the leaves alternately. There is some gaps between each leaves, and using this brush, flat watercolor brush, I'm going to add the details like this. You can see at the bottom of the leaves I'm applying some darker shade. Just applied the shade to all the leaves at once, then I use the lighter shade, then again I applied that color to all the leaves at once. Just I'm not moving the colors here and there, using the particular color at once and applying to everything, and then moving on with the next color. So that's how you can avoid wastage of time, also make proper usage of the tools available. So here you may wonder what I'm doing. So here you can see in the lasso option there will be a subtract tool. So when you subtract that areas from the selection, it will be removed. Then if you add any shadings, details, color shades to the already selected area, you can see that details are not applied to the areas that you removed using this subtract tool. Now you can see this subtract tool is available at the third option under the lasso tool. Here at the bottom you can see I just selected the third box. So that's the subtract tool under the lasso tool option. So using that you can remove the areas that you don't want. So the thing is, it doesn't mean you have to add details only using the brush or something like that. Using the eraser, using the remove tool, whatever it may be, you can get the desired result by making use of all the tools available properly. So here you can see I just finish all details for that first set of leaves. So now I'm just choosing the other set. Like as I told already, I'm going to use the alternate method to select the alternate leaves. You can see there is no merging between two leaves here. So in such a way I am going to select. You can still see some leaves are bending, so I will do that in the next set. So in the same way, darker shade first at the bottom of the leaves and then the lighter shades at the top of the leaves, like in this way we have to do. Then using the subtract option from the lasso option, I'm going to remove the the nerve detail likes a thing from the leaves like this, and then I will add the another layer of shades to the leaves so that details will not be applied to the nerve details. Then you get the desired that outcome. So in this way, so like that I'm adding the thing shades to everything, the same procedure again and again. So now here you can see a small branch of leaves, so I'm going to do that now. So here there is a good gap between each leaves. You don't need to use that alternate method. Instead you can select all of them at once by drawing using the laser tool, and then start shading like this. First fill the bottom area of the leaves with dark color, and then use the bright color, light color, whatever, it's up to you wish. Before in the leaves area I use some lighter shades of yellow, and here you can see I'm using some mango yellow shades. I'm considering that leaves as smaller leaves, baby leaves, so I'm just using the mango yellow shade. And here you can see for the seeds or buds, whatever you can consider. So for them I didn't use any the lasso tool. Instead I just drawed that but just using the flat watercolor brush. Then I'm going to draw the flower. So as I told before, I'm going to uh, choose only the alternate leaves or whatever it may be to avoid the collision or mixing of shade. So here you can see, since we just have two or three petals, I'm just selecting one petal at a time for each in each flower, and then adding shades like this, that mango yellow at the bottom and beige color at the top. Doing the same thing again, selecting another petal in each flower, and then using the flat watercolor brush I'm going to apply the shade like this. Okay, the procedure is quite simple. It's really important to understand the techniques and how I use them. So these are my personal techniques that I am created from for the for past few years by drawing, redrawing, finding out what works well. And now I'm just creating a new layer, add blending mode layer, clipping layer for this botanical layer, and applying the glow details just using the same brush. I'm using the brighter yellow color. Since I'm using the add blending mode, it's going to glow. So like this, I'm going to add a little bit of glow to all the parts, whether it is the leaf or flower, doesn't matter. Apply it to everything so that everything glows. Also make sure you apply the highlight details mostly at the top part of the leaves or at the center, so that it gives some gradient look. Don't apply it to the entire leaves. It's like doesn't make any good result. Apply only where you need. Don't apply to the full leaves area completely. Okay, now it's ready, and here I'm just reducing the opacity and adding the details to the buds. Okay, now it's ready. So hereafter I don't need that reference color panel, so I just switched off this. Now I'm going to erase the botanical leaves from that layer where there is overlapping between that and the hexagons. So you don't need to erase every detail, just here and there, so that it make appearance like some leaves are behind the hexagon and some leaves are in front of the hexagon. So if I'm erasing these areas, which means that leaves are behind the hexagon, so the leaves are back side and the hexagon is at the front side. So to create such a look, I'm just erasing here and there so that you can see how it looks. Okay, now I'm going to group them just by adding a new folder and just duplicating the folder, then flip them horizontally, then vertically to just move this side. So it just took few seconds to copy this and move to this side. So it's really easy. I just use the flip option for the entire folder, then position exactly like this, because already we have erased some part from the leaves botanical layer. So if there is any mismatch between that cropping area, just use the smudge tool to redraw that. If you don't want that gap, just redraw using the smudge tool. I'm using airbrush smudge. So always drag from the dark side, dark color to the light color. So now it's ready. I think we can rotate the entire canvas little bit. Just click on the canvas in the transform tool and rotate like this. Now it's ready. Since the background is transparent, we don't have any background, it looks, we can rotate it without any confusion. So now I'm going to save as both transparent PNG and the JPG. So here is the JPG. I hope you like this. It looks really amazing. And now comes the transparent PNG. It looks even more beautiful in this black color, which means it is a transparent background. I hope you like this tutorial. You have learned something new from me. So if so, subscribe to my channel, and thank you for watching.